This is Taylor with Geeked Out Reviews. I'm doing a review on the UUQ 2.5 10x40 clarity combination rifle scope. It has a dual illuminated mil dot, which also uses green and red. There's also a green laser, which is pressure sensitive, and there's also an option for a button on it, which is in the pack. Might as well just show it here. Just has a button on it. Also comes with covers on this, and by the way, this is a Reflex sight that has a red dot on it. I'm not going to be using the Reflex sight to show you anything right now, just simply because it is I left it on, and unfortunately the red dot is no longer working. However, I just have to replace the cell battery in it. So that's honestly not a very difficult task. It's very simple with these. One of the things I really like about this scope is the fact that it has these type of this type of rail attachment to it. This makes it very easy for you to be able to work, or makes it easy for you to switch them out. The Reflex sight also has the same thing. So if I wanted to take off the Reflex sight, I can do that. I really like scopes that allow me to do that. So most of the scopes I get, I try and find that, if nothing else. If I don't end up finding that, there are attachments that you can buy for the ones that don't have this. But honestly, if you're new to scopes, this honestly is a really good feature if you plan on, being out there for a couple hours, but you want to use like maybe 3 or 4 different scopes. That's going to help you. The green laser has a little pressure sensor on it. The way that I've been using it is just using it with my guard hand or holding onto the guard this way and just pressing the pressure sensor on it. One of the things that you need to know if you've never used a scope before, every scope on here or every attachment on here you have to zero to yourself. It will not work and will not be accurate unless you zero it properly. There are zeroing targets you can buy, so whenever you go to a range or something like that, you can just zero off of those targets. It explains in the instructions exactly how to do it. For this one, I believe one click is 1/4. Hold on, let me double check. It's one click is 1/4 of an inch on a 100-yard target. This top one is actually going to be your up and down. So if you find you're shooting too far up, then you'll want to bring it down. If you find that you're shooting too far down, then of course you'll want to bring it up. And it's always based on exactly like how you're shooting. Another good way to deal with this, if you don't have a 100-yard target, you still kind of want a target, and make sure that you're at the right distance. But you can also bore sight it rather than using a whole bunch of ammo just to try and do it. I'm in the military. We rarely bore sight. I don't know why we don't bore sight. Kind of pretty expensive for ammo, but if you don't have that kind of money like the military does, then you probably want to look into bore sighting it, and rather than using all your ammo just to try and zero in your scope. Also, after you're done zeroing it in, remember they do have covers on them, so you do want to make sure that you put the cover on it after you're done, and then hopefully you'll never have to touch those again, unless you change your shooting style. And that's a thing. It does happen. Sometimes every once in a while you might have to re-zero your scope, and it's just part of it. So anyways, there's also an up and a down on the Reflex sight, and for the laser itself. If you've ever seen lasers in movies or anything like that, I mean, if you've never used one before, no, they're not just gonna point to where you are going to shoot. You actually do have to zero these as well. You cannot get away with not zeroing your laser or every single sight that you have, which also includes your iron sights if you're using a rifle, of course. Anyways, so a little bit more about the scope and less about zeroing. This has a red and green mil dot sight on it. So I'm going to try and point this to the camera. Hopefully I can show it fairly well. It's very difficult for me to tell exactly how this looks. So this is the green. Try and move it around just to make sure that I get the picture that I'm looking for that, and also has the red on it. And you can of course change the brightness for it. Hopefully all of that turns out fairly well. But yeah, so you can change the brightness of it for that. I usually keep it on low brightness. If it's too bright, it kind of messes with my eyes. Some people like it all the way up. It's always on your own preference. I like this for a really good small scope. This is going to go about 500 yards. As far as meters, I'm not 100%. I normally shoot in meters just because that's, I don't know, something I always do. I blame the military. I do like the hood on this. It does keep a lot of the light out. Excuse me, that's my smart home thinking that nobody's home, because I haven't moved enough. Anyways, so it does have a scope in it, that really threw me off. It does have a hood on the top of it, which is really nice to keep the sun out of a lot of this. Hopefully you're not staring at the sun with this, but it also has, of course, a cover for it, and you can look through the cover. Every single scope that I've owned has one of these. I have honestly never shot with this in it. It actually changes it yellow. Changes it yellow. You can kind of still see all of this. It's probably more for night things. I'm not by any means an expert with scopes. I have used them a good bit, but certain things like this I've honestly never used. Anyways, one thing you definitely want to make sure that you don't keep this on. Don't be like me. Because these batteries, while they are cheap, they are more of a pain in the butt to get. I mean, I guess they're really not too bad. You can buy them at the dollar store and whatnot, but I just don't like replacing them just because every time you have to replace them, it's probably because you did something stupid. Either that or you've had the scope for 4 years and you've used it a good bit. But this has been on for about 2 weeks, so that's probably why. Anyways, make sure you don't do that, and you should be pretty good with your new scope. This is an excellent scope. I've seen a lot of scopes that are like this that retail for a lot more. I believe this one is about $100 on Amazon. It is Amazon Prime, and it is a fantastic scope. It has done just as well for me as some of the more expensive brands, and I honestly, I buy just about all of my scopes from UUQ. I don't know if they're all manufactured in the same plant as as some of the other Chinese products. I honestly don't care. These are excellent scopes, and they've been fairly accurate for me. So if you're in the market for a scope, I honestly recommend this one. That's for sure. I will put a link in the description for you. That's I think about it. This is Taylor with Geeked Out Reviews. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything like that, just feel free to contact me in the comments below. Thanks for watching.